Ye prasade pura sarva asha. Chakudana dillo je janme janme prabhu se. Chakudana dillo je janme janme prabhu se. Divya jnana hriday prakashito. Divya jnana hriday prakashito. Prema bhakti hoite avidya vinasayate. Prema bhakti hoite avidya vinasayate. Vedagaya haracharito. Vedagaya haracharito. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu. Lokanath Loke Rajivana. Lokanath Loke Rajivana. Ha Prabhu Koro Doya Deho More Pada Jaya. Aha Prabhu Koro Doya Deho More Pada Jaya. Ebiyan Gushukti Bhuvana. Ebiyan Gushukti Bhuvana. Prabhupada Lila Sharana. Prabhupada Patita Pavana. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Krishna Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatad Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitya Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Nitya Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Stotra Sata Shishimad Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Stotra Sata Shishimad Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Mathura Dhama Ki Shri Mayapur Navadip Dhama Ki Shri Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So at this point, we will start the Srimad Bhagavatam class, and we have His Grace Anuttama Prabhu. He is visiting us from DC, so he will be giving the Srimad Bhagavatam class this morning.
can start, right? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You already know our knees are bad. You give us a seat. Yeah, maybe a little lower. Just so it's not in my eyes. That's good. So he can you do the chanting for me of the Sanskrit? Which one? We're doing, well, there's 3 of them, but you know what the story. Is it? Yeah, just not much of one. Good question. We're trying to, do you know? You have it?
16 through 24. So Canto 10, chapter
16 to 24.
Oh, that's wholly different.
Which verse was written on 24?
Funny, they told me it was like 5 through 7.
So you have to just read 16 to 23 and 24 reciprocally.
16. Funny, they didn't tell me that. They told me 5 through 7. I didn't even look at these. Anyway. So, obviously, we're not going to spend an hour chanting all these verses. So what will you do?
You can read for them, just the chant, and chant, and take the reciprocal. Then when you read the translation portion from 16, and then connect with 24.
So you'll lead the chanting on this one only, and do the word for word.
Yeah, because we can take
And take, right.
and then when you read the translation from 16.
You're saying the English only, not this. Okay. Okay. You can use this book. You have it there. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, Hare Krishna Prabhus and Matajis. This morning we're having Srimad Bhagavatam class, as always. I offer my respects to all my God brothers and God sisters and newer devotees. My second visit here to Houston. So, first time was last year at the Kirtan. We come with our granddaughters who are aspiring transcendentalists. So. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasur Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribhajakacharya Astotara Sata Shri Shri Mari Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribhajakacharya Astotara Sata Shri Shri Mad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananti Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaur Bhakti Brinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shaima Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi Haribo All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All right. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 79, verses 16 through 24. Lord Balaram goes on pilgrimage. So since there are several verses here, we're only going to chant 24 together. And our Sanskrit. There he is. Okay.
तं दृष्ट्वा यमौ कृष्णार्जुनावपि अभिवाद्याभवंस्तुष्णीं किं विवक्षुरिवागताः युधिष्ठिरस्तु तं दृष्ट्वा यमौ कृष्णार्जुनावपि अभिवाद्याभवंस्तुष्णीं किं विवक्षुरिहागतः
Ladies? Word for word? Namayam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Nevishesha Sanarati Paschachadi Satarane. So we'll read starting with verse 16, because there are no purports. When there's no purports, one does not speak on the verse. It just reads through the verses. So there at Setubandha Rameshwaram, Lord Halayudha gave Brahmanas 10,000 cows in charity. He then visited the Kritamala and Tamraparni rivers and the great Malaya mountains. In the Malaya range, Lord Balaram found Agastya Rishi sitting in meditation. After bowing down to the sage, the Lord offered him prayers and then received blessings from him. Taking leave from Agastya, he proceeded to the shore of the southern ocean, where he saw goddess Durga in the form of Kanya Kumari. Text 18. Next he went to Falguna Tirtha and bathed in the sacred Panchapasara lake, where Lord Vishnu had directly manifested himself. At this place he gave away another 10,000 cows. The Supreme Lord then traveled through the kingdoms of Kerala and Trigarta, visiting Lord Shiva's sacred city of Gorana, where Lord Durjita Shiva directly manifested himself. After also visiting goddess Parvati, who dwells on the island, Lord Balaram went to the holy district of Shruparkarta, and bathed in the Tapi, Payosini, and Nirvinja rivers. He next entered the Dandaka forest and went to the river Reva, along with the city of Mahishmati, where the city of Mahishmati is found. Then he bathed at Manu Tirtha and finally returned to Prabhas. The Lord heard from some Brahmanas how all the kings involved in the battle between the Kurus and the Pandavas had been killed. This is the battle of Kurukshetra. From this, he concluded that the earth was now relieved of her burden. Wanting to stop the club fight then raging between Bhima and Duryodhana on the battlefield, Lord Balaram went to Kurukshetra. And 24. When Yudhisthira saw Krishna, Arjuna, and the twin brothers Nakula and Sahadev, they offered him respectful obeisances unto him, thinking, what has he come here to tell us? So here there's a small purport. So Srila Prabhupada writes, which is a book, quote, the reason why they were silent was that Lord Balaram was somewhat affectionate toward Duryodhana, and Duryodhana had learned from Balaramji the art of fighting with a club. Thus, when the fighting was going on, King Yudhisthira and the others thought that Balaram might have come here to say something in favor of Duryodhana, and therefore they remained silent. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Amalam Puranam, the spotless Purana. So, Balaram is on pilgrimage. we all like to go on pilgrimage. Many of us have been to many of these places where he has gone. I personally have traveled to some of these places myself. So Balaram goes on pilgrimage for a reason, because he did not want to participate in the battle of Kurukshetra. Krishna, we know, takes the position of the chariot driver for Arjuna. He refuses to fight. He says, I will not fight, but I will just be your chariot driver. But Balaram says, I'm not participating, I'm going on pilgrimage. So for 1 year, he's traveling to various places throughout India, from north to south to east to west. Interesting point here is that while he's traveling, he meets the sage Agastya Rishi. Now, Balaram, of course, is the first expansion of Lord Krishna. There's Krishna, Balaram, then Chaturvyuha, then second Chaturvyuha. So Balaram and Krishna are non-different. Prabhupada says the only difference is Balaram is white, Krishna is blackish. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in completeness. Here we see he's coming to a rishi, a spiritually advanced person, human being, and he's bowing down to the sage. The Lord offered him prayers and then received blessings from him. So Balaram's God, he's the supreme, but he's coming to the sadhu, to the advanced devotee, and he's bowing down, he's offering prayers, and he's also receiving blessings from him. So all of us can take blessings from advanced devotees. In fact, this is the whole process of Krishna consciousness. Yasha prasadad bhagavat prasado, yasha prasadad nagatikatopi. Without the mercy of the spiritual master, one cannot advance in Krishna consciousness. So all saintly persons, the devotee is respectful. Ultimately, Prabhupada said the devotee is respectful to everyone, to even the ant. We respect all living entities as part and parcel of Krishna. But here specifically, he's bowing down, he's offering prayers, and he's receiving the blessings. So that is the purpose, to inquire from the spiritual master submissively. Prabhupada said one must have a submissive attitude when one inquires, not challenging, but submissive, to ask the spiritual master questions. And if one asks questions in a proper attitude, one receives the proper answer. And then also one receives the blessings. So there's a famous place of pilgrimage in India. They have the Kumbh Mela. They have the Magh Mela and the Kumbh Mela. Both are in Prague. Well, they're in Prague. And it's every year, every 4 years is the Kumbh Mela. And it's in other places at other years. So Prabhupada was going to go to that in 1976, because he went in 76. It was in January 77. So he was on a walk in Bombay, and some of the devotees and guests were asking Prabhupada, what is the meaning of the Kumbh Mela, and what is the details? And Prabhupada was saying that actually when one goes to the holy place, and this is the verse from the Bhagavatam, that one must find out that saintly person. Yatirtha buddhi salilena karisha janeshu abigeshu saiva gokara. It says that if you just go to the holy place just to take a bath, and you don't inquire from the saintly people there, he says then you're just like the cow or the ass. The cow is also going to the river. The cow is also taking a bath. The donkeys are taking baths. We've seen the washermen, they bring their donkeys down to the river. They're washing the donkeys in the Ganga or in the Yamuna. So they're taking bath in the holy places, but they're not getting the same benefit. So if we just go simply thinking putting sacred water on my head will give me full enlightenment, this is a misconception. So the Bhagavatam says when you go to the holy places, you should seek out saintly people. And this is what Prabhupada was saying on the walk, that the importance of this gathering is not just to take bath at the certain moment, at the certain junction of the stars. That's there, but the main reason is that there are many saintly people that come there. So Prabhupada made an effort to go to this Kumbh Mela. Several times he went. I think he went in 71, went in 76, maybe, I'm not sure of any other times, but he went at least twice. But ISKCON would go every year. I know I went later on, after Prabhupada. We continue to go. I went in 79 to the Kumbh Mela. And in 80, it was in a different location. So ISKCON would make a presence to be there to present to the pilgrims, Krishna consciousness. We go there, we didn't go, let's all go and just take bath. Let's go and present Krishna consciousness. I was standing out in the walkways with thousands of people passing out back to Godheads and small books for hours and hours. And many devotees, we were all out on Sankirtan. And there was Harinam, chanting parties going up and down the beaches, along the river, in and out of the camps. So this is what we went for. We went to distribute Prabhupada's literature, and we went to chant the holy names of the Lord. And bathing was also there, but that wasn't the principal purpose. Principal purpose was to enlighten all of these people, thousands, hundreds of thousands. Prabhupada said that India still has great piety. He said, when you have these festivals, hundreds and thousands of people come for these pilgrimages to get some blessings. Ultimately, people want to be relieved of their suffering. They want some blessings in their life. And the blessings come from inquiring from spiritual people. So this is the whole purpose of going on pilgrimage. Of course, Balaramji does not need to get blessings. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But here he's showing us as an example that the Lord comes to this world and he acts in such a way to teach the people how to act. So Balaram is showing us when we go to pilgrimage and we meet saintly people, we should bow down before them, we should offer prayers to them, and then they will give us their blessings. And their blessings are Dibya Gyan Ride Prakashito. From him, ecstatic prema emanates, knowledge is revealed to us. So this is the purpose of Krishna consciousness, to receive some enlightenment from a self-realized soul. So Prabhupada comes to America on the order of his spiritual master. In 1925, he meets Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Not in 1925, but at the age of 25, sorry. He said, at the age of 25, and at that first meeting, he asked me to go and preach to the English-speaking people in the English medium, because Prabhupada was an educated person and was competent in the English language. So Bhaktisiddhanta had many disciples. Some were very literate, some were not. But he saw in Prabhupada from the very beginning. Prabhupada said, I only saw my spiritual master maybe 5 or 6 times throughout that 11-year period. So it's not like I had a lot of association, he would say, but I always carried those instructions with me. One reporter asked Prabhupada, he said, why have you, in England, they asked, why have you come so late in life to start this movement of yours? And Prabhupada said, yes, I was ordered when I was young, when I was 25, but he said, it is not an easy thing to go out and preach Krishna consciousness, so I had to prepare myself. So in the books by Satsvarup Maharaj, A Lifetime in Preparation. So Prabhupada wanted to prepare himself, particularly he wanted to translate the Srimad Bhagavatam. He began Back to Godhead in 1944, writing articles, and then translating. Prabhupada said that it all came about because one of his friends suggested that magazines people take and then they're discarded. People don't keep magazines. He said, but books, people keep books. So, and when Prabhupada was told that, he actually solidified in his mind that I should translate Srimad Bhagavatam because that's something people will keep. And he started that 1961, 61, he published the first volumes, and he completed 3 volumes. And of course, we all know the story. By 1965, he arranges his travel to the United States, armed with 40 rupees, which is an interesting story on this. We all hear this 40 rupees, right? Everybody's heard 40 rupees. Prabhupada couldn't spend the money. 40 rupees was not usable in the United States. There was no exchange with Indian rupees and US money. So he had 40 rupees in his pocket, but he never used it. He did sell some Bhagavatams on the boat to the captain and some others, he said. So he did receive some dollars at that time. But that 40 rupees always stayed in his pocket. He said he kept that. Actually, there's some story where he eventually gave that to one of his disciples who was going back to India. Said, you could take this 40 rupees back and use it. And so he meets, in Agra, he meets Mr. Agarwal in 1965, who's a pious gentleman. And he spends a couple of days with them, and they're talking. Mr. Agarwal, this did not make it in the Leelamrita, but Mr. Agarwal says to Prabhupada that, I sent my son to America to study engineering. Now, how many Indians are engineers? 95%. Doctors are engineers. So I sent him I wanted him to get a good degree and come back and get married and be successful and we'll all be together, he'll be a successful person. He said, but he was captured by this English woman. That's exactly what it says, I read it. Captured by this English woman. So he is settled there now, so he's not coming back. But he can sponsor you. And Prabhupada didn't think much of it. He said, all right, so many people make promises. But then after a month went by or so, and the forms came that the sponsorship is there, and Prabhupada said, okay, opportunity. And then he arranged the boat ride, and things just kind of came together. He got his permission to leave India, very difficult, visa, passport, all these things. So in this way, Prabhupada set off, just with the order of his spiritual master, firm faith in his spiritual master, and a chest full of Bhagavatams. And then he arrives at Boston. He lands there. He gets the immigration department checks him in. And then the boat continues down to New York, where he gets off in Brooklyn. We went to that pier. It's not a pier anymore, but we went one year with Chatravu, what's his name? Anyway, my godbrother, can't remember the name, but he took us some years ago to that place in Brooklyn to see where Prabhupada actually landed. And there was, Prabhupada said, I got off the boat. He said, I didn't know whether I should turn right or left. He said, no idea where I was, what to do. But Mr. Agarwal had arranged a transport company, a greeting, a person, someone to meet me at the dock and direct me to the bus station to take me down to Butler, Pennsylvania, which is a very small town. And Prabhupada took the maybe 5-6 hour trip, 4 or 5 hours to Butler, Pennsylvania. And we all know the story. But Prabhupada started off very simple. He didn't come in, big temples, everything there, an entourage of brahmacharis and bank account and facilities, nothing, just Krishna somehow or other. Prabhupada said, he said, when I came to your country, I thought, when I tell the people these regulated principles, no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling, they'll say, Swamiji, please go home, please go back. Prabhupada said like that. So he wasn't sure what would happen. But gradually, he met up with Dr. Mishra in New York, who was running a yoga ashram. He was an Indian gentleman teaching yoga. And he put him up, gave him facilities, and he was there for some time. And gradually, he rented his own place. He met some devotees, Mukunda Maharaj and some other devotees. There's the story of Kirtanananda and Hayagriva seeing Prabhupada walking on the street. Prabhupada always wore dhoti, never did not wear dhoti, sannyasi. And they were on the other side of the street, and they saw Prabhupada walking, and they had been to India already. They had taken one trip to India, so they knew what a holy man was. So they came across the street, and they said, excuse me, sir, are you from India? And Prabhupada said, yes. And I think Prabhupada asked them, I said, where are you from India also? I think that's what he said. And they said, no, we're from New York. And they began to talk, and they became attracted to Prabhupada. Because he wasn't, if he was Krishna West, he never would have met Hayagriva or Kirtanananda, just commenting on this. If he was in pants. And Prabhupada did say that when I met the Ramakrishna Mission people, they advised me, don't wear this dress. This is too much for these people. You need to dress in pants and suit. But he didn't listen to them, nor did he listen to anyone who was giving that advice. So he was always wearing his dhoti. And that is why these early disciples came to him. They saw this man is somebody different. Otherwise, he'd just be another man, pants and suit, and nobody would recognize. But in that way, gradually things developed. The first kirtan, the first disciples. Prabhupada said, Kirtanananda, not Kirtanananda, Brahmananda and Achyutananda were the first dancers in my kirtan in the park. We would go to Tompkins Square Park. So he said, I simply came to teach you to chant. He said, all of these other details, he said the main essence is chanting. He said, it's interesting, I'll make this comment, that the early days of ISKCON, I joined in 71, so a little bit later, but all of the devotees, we would go out on Sankirtan. We would go out chanting. And when I joined, we went out for 5 or 6 hours every day. This is what we did. I joined in Washington, D.C. We had 8 or 9 devotees. That was it. And we would half of us would go out. Maybe Damodar had to stay back and try to sell incense to the stores, because that's how we supported ourselves, through the Spiritual Sky incense. Somebody stayed back to maybe cook. And the rest of us, we all just went out chanting every day. So we didn't have these Kirtan Mela festivals that we have today, because we were on Kirtan every day for hours and hours. And this was going on in New York and LA and all of our centers. This is what we did. This was the Hare Krishna movement. We would always wear our robes. In fact, we had a big pile of clothes in the basement. People, when they moved in, they had all their clothing just all pile up, different things. Nobody ever wore non-devotee clothes. In fact, I joined when I was still in high school. So I joined in 11th grade. Summer of 11th grade, I moved in the temple. Shaved up, dhoti, everything. So 12th grade is coming up. I'm like, what do I do? My father says to me, you can stay in the temple, but you have to finish school, because if you don't graduate from high school, you won't be successful in the world. So, of course, I didn't believe that, but I had to do it because I was under 18. I wasn't interested in school. So, but I went to school. I relocated to our school in Georgetown, which is in Washington, D.C. And I went in a dhoti and a shaved head every day to public high school in 12th grade. So that was the way we were. No Krishna West. It was all Krishna as Prabhupada presented it. So this was Prabhupada, the Western clothing started when devotees were doing like airports and Sankirtan, and they asked Prabhupada, can we wear these things to help facilitate book distribution? And Prabhupada approved it, for preaching, for spreading. Even Sarup Damodar Swami, who comes from Manipur, which is northeast India, right next to Burma. In fact, when I first met him, people would say, he's from India, and I'd look at him and say, doesn't look Indian, looks Asian. You know, he's got the oriental eyes. I didn't know what Manipur was. But he was a PhD student in Irvine, California, and he came to see Prabhupada. At first he didn't want to, a friend of his was going. Same thing that happened to Prabhupada. Prabhupada had a friend that said, come see this spiritual teacher. And Prabhupada was like, I've seen so many spiritual teachers. I'm not so interested. But by the urging of the friend, Prabhupada went to see Bhaktisiddhanta. And then he did say that I feel that the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the right hands. This is exactly what he said when he met Bhaktisiddhanta. So Swarup Damodar was also very similar like that. His friend was becoming a devotee and very attracted to Prabhupada, Indian friend. But he was not, he was busy in his studies. He came here to work on his degree. So his friend was encouraging him to come see this spiritual teacher in Los Angeles, Prabhupada. So gradually he decided to go. All right, I'll go. You're nagging me so much, I'll go. And then when he met Prabhupada, he was very impressed. He said, this man has presenting the real thing, the real culture, Krishna consciousness, as I'm familiar with it, as I was brought up with it in my own country. And from the beginning, just as Prabhupada was ordered to preach to the English-speaking people in the English language, Swarup Damodar Swami was requested by Prabhupada to preach to the scientists. At first, Swarup Damodar Swami, he said, I want to drop out. I just want to be a devotee. I just want to be a brahmachari. I just want to wear a dhoti and wash the pots and go out on the streets for 8 hours a day chanting with Vishnu Jan. That's all. But Prabhupada said, no, people will not listen to you in the world of academia unless you have qualification. And we want to try to move this movement into another level. The first level was chanting in the streets. The second level was preaching to the scientific community and trying to defeat this idea of the origin of life, that life comes from life. This was the whole presentation, that life comes from life. Life ultimately comes from the supreme life, which is Krishna. So he did finish his degree, and Prabhupada started the Bhaktivedanta Institute, and asking Swarup Damodar Swami to direct it. And then other devotees who also had degrees participated in this, and they went around to the colleges and preaching. And in this way, the BI, as it was called, Bhaktivedanta Institute, started and developed. So Prabhupada was preaching on many fields, many different levels. When he would travel, the devotees would always arrange for him to meet intelligent people, scholarly people, important people, religious people. He would meet priests, he would meet doctors of philosophy, scholars from the university, important people, political people he would meet. And he would present to them always the message of Krishna consciousness, that one has to hear this message through the line of disciplic succession. This is something that we always hear from Prabhupada's books. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshyo vidu, that this science is given down. So he said, I'm not changing anything. People would come to me, Prabhupada would say, people would come to me and say, oh, Swamiji, you've done a wonderful thing, particularly in India. Indian people would appreciate him. You've done wonderful thing. You've spread Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said, I've done nothing. I'm simply following the orders of my spiritual master. It's all him. It's not me. Anyone preaching Krishna consciousness does not take any credit thinking it's me. It's always my teacher, my guru. He's given me the mercy. He's given me the power. Without him, I can't. Om Jnana Timirandasha. He's opened my eyes. And now that my eyes are open, I can open other people's eyes. So that is how Krishna consciousness goes on. We open our eyes, we get our eyes open, we go to someone else, we open their eyes. That you're not this body, that we're pure spirit soul, we're eternal servants of Krishna. Simple message, not complicated. I mean, the philosophy in the Bhagavatam can become very detailed. But Prabhupada said, it's simple for the simple. He said, one devotee asked Prabhupada once, how can we please you? In Detroit, 1971. He asked, how can we please you? Prabhupada said, just chant Hare Krishna. He said, this is, we're thinking he's going to say something special. Special thing is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're gathering here this weekend to chant Hare Krishna. That's all we're going to do. And we're only going to have one song, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So this is what we do. And this is how we become advanced in Krishna consciousness. So are there any questions? Jayadoita used to give the Sunday class in Brooklyn, and he would always say, Krishna consciousness is a authorized movement based on the Vedic literatures. I remember every class he would start off Sunday talk, then he would present basic philosophy, and then he would say, are there any questions? And usually people are shy, they don't want to ask questions, so that, then he says, oh, you're all convinced. No questions. Very good. You're all convinced. Hare Krishna. So, but I did see your hand. Mm. Mm.
We find that if you go to any kind of academic circles, the mood of the people there is not to get convinced, but to actually convince others of their philosophy or their line of thought. So it could be quite a dangerous circle to be in, especially if you constantly associate with people in the academia. You may sway from the path of pure devotional service and could be actually quite influenced by their philosophy of doubting everything. I'll just doubt everything. So
the world is full of doubters. Whether they're academia or whether they're we're on the street Sankirtan selling magazines and things. We meet so many doubters. So the world is full of doubters. So we just have to become convinced ourselves, and then we will not become contaminated. There is one point on this dress we were talking about and how to dress. In Bhubaneswar in 1977, January, Swarup Damodar Swami meets Prabhupada at the temple, at the hut in Bhubaneswar. There was just a hut. And that was Prabhupada's only visit to Bhubaneswar. And they have long talks about how to present Krishna consciousness to the scientists. What should I do? What should I wear? How should I act? So Prabhupada said, you can wear civil dress. You can wear suit and tie. He said, but tilak must be there. He said, tilak is our trademark. So if you ever see Swarup Damodar Swami's pictures with scientists, he always has tilak on. Because Prabhupada told him that tilak, you can wear the Western clothes, that's okay. He said we don't want to disturb their minds. This is exactly what Prabhupada said. We don't want to disturb their minds. But tilak must be there, and you can present Krishna consciousness in that way. Of course, it's a challenge. I mean, most scientists are atheists. That's the popular mood, that we can solve all problems through science. So Prabhupada says, you take the chemicals, he said that the man has died, the body is there in front of you. So the body is there, make it alive again. What's missing? What's missing? Everything is there, all the chemicals are there, he just died a minute ago. Bring him back. So scientists say life comes from chemicals. So all the chemicals, what's missing? The soul is missing. This is, common thing. When the soul leaves, the body's finished. That's it. And Prabhupada said, we don't make a distinction between humans. He says in other faiths, they say animals have no soul. He was talking with Mr. Roberts in England. In 1976, July, after Prabhupada left New York, the famous New York Rath Yatra down Fifth Avenue, after we had moved into our big 55th Street temple in Manhattan. We had the biggest Rath Yatra, and Prabhupada was so impressed with it. Prabhupada even said, I heard the conversation, he was talking with Tamal Krishnaswamy and others. He said, we should rent a building down by Washington Square Park, which is where, I don't know, how many have been to New York Rath Yatra? Raise your hand. A lot of people. So we go to Washington Square Park, and that's where we've always gone since '76. And Prabhupada said we should rent a building down there, and we can bring Lord Jagannath there, and after 7 days we can have another festival and go back up Fifth Avenue, back up to the temple on 55th Street. This was Prabhupada's idea. And he said, and in the rest of the year, we'll have a restaurant there, and Govinda's restaurant. So Prabhupada had all these thoughts. He said, in the parade, we should have the Radha-Damodar buses, and we should have all our vehicles. And then Rameshwar said, well, Prabhupada, some of our vehicles are old and beat up. He said, only the nice vehicles. He said, Aishwarya, full opulence. Prabhupada wanted a full parade of our opulence, the buses, the vans, Jagannath, coming down Fifth Avenue. So he was telling all this to Tamal Krishnaswamy. It's in the conversations. So that's talking about preaching to scientists, of course, preaching to anyone, whether we're preaching to the hippies at the Rainbow Festival or we're at an academic presentation. The material world is full of Maya, so we just have to be convinced ourselves. Scientists are a tough group to deal with. Certainly it's a certain flavor to deal with them, but Prabhupada wanted it, and that's why he said you should finish your degree, because they won't listen to you unless you also have a degree, because you're not one of them. Unless you have a degree, you're not in their group. So even though the material education will not help you understand God. There's so many people with degrees. Does that mean they're pure devotees or Krishna conscious? No. But yet we have so many people who are devotees who can't even necessarily read or write. Jagannath Das Babaji, our Babajis in our line, they weren't educated, but they were Krishna, lovers of Krishna, Krishna conscious. So one does not need mundane education. Even you don't need to read. Even you can't maybe read the books. This is the story of Lord Chaitanya meeting the devotee in South India, and he's flipping through the pages of the Gita, and he's crying. And so some people are making fun of him because they know him. They know he can't read. He's illiterate, but so Lord Chaitanya comes up to him and he's thinking, oh, this man's going to make fun of me too. And Lord Chaitanya said, so, what are you doing? He said, I'm looking at the Bhagavad Gita. He said, my spiritual master told me to go through to read the Bhagavad Gita every day, all 18 chapters. But I can't read, so all I do is flip the pages, and I see Krishna and Arjuna sitting around the chariot at the beginning of the battle and thinking of all of this, even though I can't read it. So when I think like this, and I remember like this, and tears come from my eyes. So he did not have a PhD, he did not have any degree, yet he was, Lord Chaitanya accepted him as a great devotee. So one does not need to go to college to become Krishna conscious. In fact, in the early days, nobody did. It was only later on that it became a little popular for the purpose of preaching. Of course, in our Indian congregation, most of them have been to college. most immigrants who come here have been educated. But that is not the qualification for Krishna consciousness. Qualification is surrendering. Sarvadharmam prijyajam mamekam sharanam. You surrender to Krishna. And that doesn't take any qualification except full faith in Krishna and in his spiritual and our spiritual master. So, thank you very much. Time's up. We appreciate everyone for coming. Hare Krishna. Where's the Prabhupada?
Thank you, Anuttama Prabhu, for the wonderful class. So at this point, we will go to Brahma Hall, which is right across the temple building. There is a walkway, and then there is Brahma Hall. We will serve breakfast prasadam until 9:30. and at 9:30 you all will come back here to kick off KirtanFest. Hare Krishna.